The Westknits Mystery Shawl Knit Along is my annual fall knit along where we all knit the same new pattern together 1 week at a time. So each week in October, there's 4 sets of instructions, and every week we're gonna get a PDF update as we knit new sections and new techniques, and we unveil this beautiful new wearable work of art together. This year is the 13th Westknits Mystery Shawl, and it's called Twists and Turns. So there's definitely going to be some twists, whatever you think that might mean to you. Twists in the knitting, maybe some stitches, maybe your state of mind. Maybe my state of mind is going to be a little bit twisted this year. So it's going to be really exciting, and some turns. Twists and turns. What do you think that means? So the shawl design is a complete surprise, but twists and turns is the theme, and I had a lot of fun playing with this theme and all of my swatching and ideas, coming up with what are the components of this year's shawl. So each week in October, we're gonna find a new twist and a new turn as we collage and create this beautiful new shawl together. Okay, so we're in the beginning of the Mystery Knit Along season, and the most important date to get started is September 3rd. That's the sign-up date. So on September 3rd, you can sign up for the Knit Along by purchasing the Twists and Turns pattern on Ravelry or Westknits.com, and that's how you sign up. You're going to get an intro PDF, and it's going to be filled with swatching information, color advice, needle, gauge, notions, all the stuff you need to know. So signups are September 3rd, and you can join from then and anytime after. So there's no deadline to sign up, but on Ravelry and Westknits.com is where you get the Twists and Turns pattern. And once you have it, you'll get email or Ravelry updates every week in October, starting October 6th. So October 6th is the cast on, so we have a whole month to pick our colors, decide what color style we want to knit with this year, and anticipate the Clue 1 arrival on October 6th. So September 3rd is the sign-up date, and that also means that our kits are going to launch at Stephen and Penelope. You can use any yarn you want to participate, but we've got you covered with some gorgeous palettes this year, and the color style is main color, contrast color, accent color. You need 3 colors, and the main color, you're gonna need 2 skeins of fingering weight, 100 grams each. The contrast color, you're gonna need a contrasting color, 2 skeins each, and an accent color. This is a really good color opportunity to use a color you haven't used before, or something that flashes and clashes against your main color and contrast color. But this is the style. We've got 5 skeins, 100 grams of the accent color, 200 grams each of the main color, contrast color, fingering weight, okay? You can use any yarn twist, single ply, plied yarns. You can use wool, alpaca, cotton, any kind of fibers you want. So get something that looks like this, really contrasty, or go subtle, go graphic, but get excited for that 3 color story. And how are these colors gonna play together? We're not gonna know until we start knitting, which is all the fun, but you just have to trust me, okay? Just trust that I'm gonna take care of you. We're gonna learn some new techniques, some new skills, and every step of the way, I'm gonna be showing you video tutorials. So once you have your yarns picked out in September, October 6th comes, and every week in October, it's gonna be like a masterclass in Westknits shawl knitting. Free video tutorials along with the pattern, close-up tips and tricks, and a lot of new textures that you might not have tried before. Once you have your yarn picked out, you're gonna need a few other things for the Twists and Turns shawl. You're gonna need a needle, so check the PDF and the gauge and try to get a needle size that works for you. I recommend a US 4, 3.5 millimeter, but always do a little gauge swatch and try to get a close to the recommended gauge type of fabric. And we're gonna need some stitch markers. Just get a handful of stitch markers. They always come in handy. And we're gonna need a cable needle, okay? That might give away a little bit of what we're gonna do. So get a cable needle, and the thickness of it should be a similar size to the needle size that you choose for your shawl. So cable needle, some stitch markers, some knitting needles in a circular length, and get a bunch of beautiful yarns. They gotta inspire you, and there's a whole month for you to change your mind on your color palette. So don't stress too much, but get some colors that make you happy and get you excited for Twists and Turns. Question of the year, is there gonna be brioche in the Twists and Turns shawl? Every year I say, if there's brioche, there's going to be a non-brioche option as well. So don't let any technique scare you away from participating in the knit along, because I'm going to have photo tutorials and videos to teach you any technique, but you never know what you're going to get. Some years there's brioche, some years there's not. Some years there's new things that I haven't even tried in a shawl, and it's my opportunity to force you to learn them with me. There might be one or two things like that in this year's shawl, but you'll have to see. October 6th is when we find out. The shape and the size of the shawl will also be a complete mystery. We don't know exactly what shape it's going to be, but it will fit into the Westknits mystery shawl world. We're going to take some elements, some construction details, and a lot of stitches you know, and we're going to twist and turn them into new, exciting shawl formations. We've got 3 colors this year and 500 grams of yarn, so it will be a pretty big shawl in a similar size category to Starflake, Speckle and Pop. Those were nice big sizes. Not too big, not too small, but it's a big shawl, but nothing too scary. So you can do it, okay? Don't get too intimidated by the unknown, because that's the most fun part about the mystery, is there's no chance to be scared. You just have to dive in, needles first, get colors you love, and I'm gonna take care of you the rest of the way. When I'm designing the mystery shawl, I usually start with swatching, and I like trying some different stitches and fascinations of textures that I haven't done before. So I start very playful and experimental. So whenever I'm designing the mystery shawl, I also have no idea what the final shawl is gonna look like. So when I write the final pattern for you, and what we're all gonna knit in October is gonna be like a version of my petrified and excited experience that I went through when I was designing the shawl. So I want you to feel those same things that I was feeling. It's going to be a roller coaster ride of twists, turns, some little knitting tricks, colorful emotions, some simple parts, some little more challenging parts, not too challenging, but we're gonna do some new things, and I'm excited for you to experience that same excitement and feeling that I get when I'm designing, and you get to do that with your own color choices as we knit along in October. If you've never done a mystery knit along before, just relax. The most important thing is to embrace the spirit of playfulness and fun, and to get colors that you really, really love. So we've got a whole month to choose our colors, and there's a lot of other resources. We have a Ravelry group, so you can sign up for the MKAL Ravelry group, Twists and Turns. There's an FAQ page at Stephen and Penelope. And we have our kits on September 3rd. So there's a lot of inspiration to be had with all the yarn offerings. You can dive into your stash as well and share all your color palettes on Ravelry or on Instagram. So I can't wait to see where we go together for Twists and Turns. And I just promise you it's gonna be a shawl that you've never knitted before. We'll learn new things, and we're gonna get to laugh and have fun by seeing other people's experiences and color palettes along the way. Some of the past mystery shawls have been my favorite ones to create because I do new techniques that I haven't done before in a lot of the mystery designs. So Exploration Station was one of them, where I put brioche in the shawl for the first time, and the doodler had this wild cable on the edge. And the last few years, they've evolved into these chaotic textures, like collages of texture and slip stitches, like Slipstravaganza and Shawlography. So I always challenge myself each year to step it up and to add new elements and recycle some ideas to give a sense of familiarity. So not everything is going to be too complicated, but there's going to be a lot of fun, funky freshness in this year's shawl. So I hope you'll join me, grab some friends, and choose colors you love, and let's experience the Twists and Turns MKAL, the 13th MKAL. I can't believe it. It's going to be the best one yet.